Phil suggested this the other day. He said to me, the FA Cup, it's the Tweed Barnes derby, Exeter versus Sunderland women. Tough draw.
So you're both going to be in attendance then?
Well, we would be if we hadn't got Stoke on the Saturday.
That's an excuse for yeah, good draw. Someone who I've never ever come up against as a player or coach, so it's nice to face different opposition. Really long trip. We're looking into the travel, so hopefully we'll do the right thing and catch a flight down there. But yeah, a nice fixture to come back into after the Christmas period for us.
A little bit of an anomaly. They play in Newton Abbott rather than Exeter. I think they probably will play in Newton Abbott because the men's team have got a game at St James's Park on the Saturday and the Tuesday, so that's probably where you will play. I
think it's a 3G pitch. I think they've confirmed. Devon FA, is it? Yeah, that's confirmed the venue. So yeah, it is what it is. It's a fixture that we want to do well in. We want to progress in the competition.
And if you play as well as you did against Huddersfield, then you shouldn't have any fears.
Yeah, it's we're expected to win the fixture because we're the higher ranked team, but it's not as easy as that. We have to apply ourselves and do some research on them because we don't know about them. They'll probably know more about us because there's more out there. But yeah, well, it's a fixture that excites us and we look forward to it.
Your intentions were clear in the game against Huddersfield. A strong team, so something you clearly want to do well in. You could have been 8 or 9 on the afternoon, but for their keeper, who wasn't the biggest in the world, but she had a blinder.
Yeah, I think it's obviously the first fixture back after the international break as well, so it was important to get players on the pitch and get some momentum going into the week. It was a really strong performance, I thought, really, really dominant, which you would expect in horrific conditions. But like you say, the goalkeeper made some really good saves and kept the scoreline down.
And character building, I think, conditions.
Yeah, we decided to go with the wind in the first half, which was the right decision because I think the second half was a bit like a summer's day. So yeah, it was awful conditions in the first half, which made it probably twice as hard for Huddersfield, to be fair. But we enjoyed some good possession and we created lots of chances, and like you say, it could have been a lot more.
Obviously the midweek game changed the team and it was called the League Cup. I know you spoke about that last night. Disappointed to lose, but a competition perhaps that you may feel is best to be out of?
I think when you make 9 changes, I think it's sometimes difficult for momentum and cohesion with them different players on the pitch, but I thought overall I was quite pleased with the performance. I thought we played some really good football. I think we should have scored more with the chances that we created. We created some really good chances. Really disappointed with the goals that we did concede, but the application after the first one went in, was a really positive turnaround for us. And then we went on to kind of dominate that first half and didn't quite get to grips with the game in the second half. And Durham came into it a little bit more. And I think when we made some changes again, we had another little push and created chances, but just didn't do enough to get it over the line. So pleasing that we got everyone's had a good run out in the lead up to the Portsmouth game.
Portsmouth then, big game, 200th in charge, little milestone.
Yeah, I was quite surprised when Kieran told us it was going to be 200. It feels a long time, so it's probably accurate. But yeah, it's a big game for us. It's one we want to win and make sure we finish this part of the season on a high and go into the Christmas period right up there. Challenging come the new year.
How do you feel about that 200 games? Because in the football environment, this now it's head coach, manager positions are so precarious. It's and I think you're probably one of the longest serving head coaches as well. There must be some pride in achieving that.
Yeah, I think as a younger coach early on in my career, it was always the ambition to be a head coach, and to get the opportunity to manage at this football club was a privilege. To go on and manage 200 games is it's a big personal achievement for me. And I think it was 2017. The first game in charge. I did have to have a look and ask Kieran what the game was. It was Aston Villa. We won 3-2, I think. But yeah, loads of highs and lows as a head coach, as you would expect in this game. It's never straightforward, but yeah, really proud moment.
Dare I ask the highs and lows, any particular that stand out?
I think the ambition of mine was to always manage in the Super League, and to lead the team in the top flight was a big achievement. The real lows of the double relegation, but building the team back up to where it is now, it's been one hell of a journey. It's not been easy. It's not been straightforward, but we've weathered the storm, and hopefully we're now on the upwards.
Literally and metaphorically at the weekend. Portsmouth then, it's a big game because of where they are in the table, and it's one of those, we spoke before about those 3 games against those teams in those positions. You need to win those, because the other teams in those top positions are going to be winning those games. Yeah,
absolutely. No one else has slipped up against them, and that's the message to the team. It's really important we're at them and we get at them. They're having a long trip up to the northeast, which we know it's not an easy journey up, and we have to be at the races. We have to play like we did midweek, and we have to be ruthless like we did against Huddersfield, and put them chances away when they're there to take.
Amy Goddard scored last week, and someone expressed surprise that she hasn't scored before. And I suppose thinking about it, yes, that probably is a bit of a surprise, bearing in mind her height and her position in set pieces.
Yeah, I think she's a marked woman, or double marked sometimes. It's been a frustration of hers. It's not for the want of trying. She stays behind with the forwards in practice as they're finishing, and then around the edge of the box in case she gets them knocked down. So I was delighted that she scored, and hopefully, like Elna, they come like buses and she gets one on Sunday as well.
And finally for me, one standout player for me last weekend watching it was Libby McInnes. I thought she was outstanding against Huddersfield. Now, I know it was against lower league opposition, but there's a player there, isn't there?
Yeah, I thought she was excellent. Obviously the game before against Sheffield as well, when she came into the team, she was the best player on the pitch then as well. So someone who's been really patient and waiting in the wings for an opportunity, and she certainly took that opportunity, and like you say, she's been terrific the last 2 games that she's played.
I guess part of the changes last night was giving opportunities to players who haven't been involved as much. How many of them impressed you enough that they might start on Sunday or come off the bench on Sunday?
I think we've always used the competition as a way of getting people on the pitch to showcase what they're about. I know it's a short season with only 20 league games, but we've got a really good squad, got lots of depth, and I thought the team that went out there last night were terrific in moments. Some players are waiting patiently for opportunities, and I thought there were some really good performances last night. So yeah, I've got a tough decision to make come Sunday.
Sunday will be the halfway point in the league season, won't it? So could you review it out of 10 for us? How do you think it's gone so far? And I guess the ambition is to get a bit higher up the table.
I think if we can take 3 points on Sunday, and that's us being really professional and diligent on the way that we play. Like, the first half of the season's gone really well. When you consider the points that everyone else has got, we're going to be up there. So, after a rocky start, we've certainly turned the tide, and we've put in some good performances over the last 5 weeks.
And on your 200 game milestone, has the job changed much? Does it feel the same as when you began 7 years ago?
It probably has. I haven't honestly had time to kind of sit and reflect, and I think when I first took charge, we were in the Super League, we were full-time. We've gone full-time, semi-professional, amateur, then semi-professional, and back to professional, so it's been one hell of a roller coaster. Coached an awful lot of players over that amount of years as well, some really good players. So yeah, I couldn't pinpoint a certain game or anything like that, but it's been good.
Just reflecting on the first half of the season, I know Sunday's game, so it's going to have a big bearing on that, because if you win it, you'll probably be, if you lose, it'll feel like it's an opportunity. But will you have taken this, do you think, at the start of the season? It's maybe not how you saw it going with a very rocky start, but are you pretty satisfied with where you're at?
Yeah, I think if you look at the points total in terms of where we're at compared to other teams, you would have took it, absolutely, because you're in the mix, and you're close to probably where you want to be, or you're not far off, a win or a draw away from maybe being higher up. So in terms of the points that we've collated, and if we can get 3 on Sunday, it's positive first half of the season.
And reflects, as you're coming into the winter break and the end of the year, reflecting on the journey of the team across the year a bit, it's a bit of an odd one, because you're pretty much where you were last year. Because of the reality of this division and the way it's progressing, you have to get a lot better to stay at that level, I guess, although the table might not necessarily reflect it? How do you feel you've kind of developed and grown over the years?
Yeah, I think it's a bit more ruthless, the league this year, in terms of if you slip up slightly, you're probably not going to take anything from games, and I just feel like it's got more edge about it this year. I feel like teams have brought in better players in terms of who we're coming up against, and it's good for the division because it's really competitive. But yeah, we want to keep working hard so that the second half of the season doesn't fizzle away. We want to really try and kick on and maintain standards and really be up there as a competitive team.
And after Sunday, you'll get a bit of a chance to. You'll be very busy, I imagine, but it'll be a bit different. What's that review process going to look like? And being looking forward to January as well. How are you looking at that window? Do you expect much, or do you think you've probably got the core in place?
We'll certainly review the first half of the season the week after as a MDT, and Alex, our GM, as well. He'll be in them conversations, and we'll look towards January, and I'll always push and want to know what's around in terms of adding to the squad. I think it's important that you're aware of who's available or contracts that are become expired, because you're also looking at the summer as well. It's not too far away, so it's always an ongoing process, the recruitment piece, and if we can bring bodies in or a body in to help the squad, then great. But it's not always my control, but we'll see what Standout can bring.
You've been excellent.
Yeah, that's the importance of not slipping up against Exeter in the FA Cup, because the financial reward is huge.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.